All right, guys, we're just gonna skip the intro this morning or this afternoon. But what I got here in front of us, this is a 2009 Polaris XP 550. Customer actually had found me here on YouTube. We did a quick video on his Cub Cadet Challenger that we had to redo the wet clutch drum that came off and the outer primary sheave. And they also had this one here. What happened to this is that they've been having problems. Sorry, I'm walking around this thing. They've been having problems with it shifting. So it kept stripping out this guy right here. So now it finally got to the point where it stripped completely out and it's locked in gear. I put a pair of vice grips on this thing, try to roll back and forth. It does not move. So my guess is the detent's bad in there. And in order to do this, we got to pull the whole entire transmission out of the back. And so basically we're going to be referencing my TV up there. I do have a service manual for this. I'll be referencing that a lot during this video. We're probably going to break it into a multi-part series. We're going to first probably just show me taking this thing out. Then the next one we'll show pulling it apart. And then probably number 3, putting it back in and taking it for a test drive. So right now what we need to do, what it says to do, is put it on a level surface, which you can see it's on my lift. And again, it's locked. It doesn't go anywhere. That's as far as it goes. It's a heck of a time getting it up here. I actually took a jack and put it underneath here, jacked it up and ratchet strapped to it. And I had to bring it from where that TerraPro sits all the way up here. So I drug it up here at the TerraPro and then I had to lift up the back end and shove it up on here. So what we got to do, we got to drain transmission fluid. I just lost my computer here, but we got to drain transmission fluid in this thing. Let's see what it says here. It says position vehicle on a level surface, remove the seat side panels, disconnect negative battery. The battery's dead, so I don't care about that. Remove rear cab footwell, thoroughly clean engine, transmission, chassis. Drain transmission fluids, remove left rear wheel, lower left hand frame support, and outer PVT cover, which is, you know, like the CVT. Belt, drive belt, remove exhaust springs, blah, blah, blah. So we'll just run through all that. Probably keep it nice and short. So we all know, drain the fluid, so I won't show me doing that. We'll yank this tire off and then we'll go ahead and pull this piece of frame off here and figure out what else we need to do to access this. Because this is my first time pulling a transmission out of one of these. I've done belts on them in the past. It's been quite a few years since I've done a belt on a Polaris. So along for the ride, let's see if we can't get this thing done and right for our customer. So let's go ahead and jump into this project. All right, guys, so you see I dropped off the skid plate down here. This thing is just, it's covered in all types of wonderful stuff from the farms. So, but anyways, we'll knock all that out. Give us some room to, that way we don't have to worry about that later on. There we go. So next thing we gotta do, we come over here and I don't know if we can see it. Let me try to get a better angle. We're gonna go ahead and drain the transmission fluid. There's your fill, there's your drain. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that and we'll drain that down to here and then we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, so the fluid's down there draining out, but we found this immediately on top. That's a lot of metal debris. That's a piece of metal right here. So we definitely know something's going on in the transmission. I'm sure that detent's gonna have to be changed no matter what. So fluid's draining out. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up on a jack. And then since my flat jack is underneath that Harley, I'll throw this up on a jack and then we'll go ahead and pull that left rear tire off and then the left rear foot. All right, we're gonna remove this footwell first. I got these, you guys seen these in quite a few different videos of mine probably off of Amazon. I'll try to find the link and leave it in the description, guys. I do have affiliate links for Amazon, so that would be awesome if you guys could use those links, man. It definitely help the channel out, help me out. And again, guys, if you haven't subscribed, like 94% of the people that watch my content are not subscribed to it. And man, it's a big help if you guys subscribe. It helps with the algorithm and just kind of helps the shop out in general. You know, like I said, this job actually came from him watching a YouTube video of me working on a MSU 500 or a 700. And then he had an issue with his, found out I was local to him, local-ish to him, because he was like an hour away. And you can see, you know, with that algorithm, it definitely helps a lot with that. So try to get all these push pins out with this guy. It makes it difficult when they're not put in a good direction where you can get a good grip on it. But I like these better than a lot of other ones, and I've used these for years now. Once again, I got them off of Amazon. Body panel something. I don't remember the exact name, but I got a few different links for them around. So let's go ahead and pull off this footwell. Only if that would have landed in the transmission fluid, I'd have been happy. Of course, looks like a 10 mil on the backside. Can't make things easy and have them go to a riv nut or something, or a well nut already there. One, two, I've got a couple there. That should, oh, missed one push pin over here. I think that might be all of those. There's definitely a lot of leaves on this poor thing. She's been sitting outside for a little bit. They initially weren't going to have me do the job, and then I came back and was like, all right, you know what, it's winter time. Let me go ahead and price it a little bit better for you guys. And they decided, you know what, yeah, go ahead, we can afford that. So that's what we're taking care of now. If I can make sure everything is off. There we go. Forward. Go empty this thing out outside real quick. You guys see that definitely gives us a lot more access to this guy. We'll pull these out, get rid of this panel here, and then we're gonna go ahead and pull this tire off, and then we'll pull this piece of frame rail off of here. Just go ahead and do that off camera so you don't have to watch me do that. Or, well, heck, let's just do a, what do you call that, a time lapse. All right, guys, to make my life easier, it was a pain in the butt to get around the rear fenders. I just took the whole entire rear fenders off this thing. They weren't held on by much. A couple bolts up here and a few on the top and the front, and I took this other side step off because I forgot he had rolled this over at one point in time and oil was pouring out of here all over the motor, so I got to clean all that off anyways. But I can't do that necessarily because the rear end's locked up. Hopefully it's stuck in park. I put a battery on there, would not start, but we're gonna go ahead and finish taking this guy off here. Then we'll pull the CVT cover, and then I think it said to pull exhaust bolts. Of course, we can just go ahead and take this guy off now. Get that out of the way. We will pull off the 4 bolts back here that go to the rear diff. And then I'll have to look and see what else we need to pull off. But we're gonna go ahead and take this guy off here. Rotation angle sensor or gear position sensor here. We can just go ahead and unplug that while we're here. If I can get my hand in there to do it one-handed, may not be able to because it's kind of crappy. So I'll get to that, pull off a couple other plugs, and then we'll finish yanking off this cover right here in a time lapse. right, guys, so I'm actually draining the engine oil right now. So apparently, you know, I'm using the service manual, but it said nothing about taking the whole entire back part of this guy off. But you see, to get all the fenders off, I had to take this side mount bar, this side frame rail bar off of the right side of the motor. Exhaust had to come off. PVT cover, as they call it, PVT cover. Speed sensor. The drive shaft from the rear differential had to come off. Gear position sensor, or gear position sensor. Drain the oil out of the transmission, drain the oil out of the motor. These tubes here are gonna come off. This guy here is gonna come off. And then took off the coolant temperature sensor. And then the intake charge tube for it, or outtake, I don't know which one it is on this one. And then we gotta undo the 7 bolts around this guy. And this whole piece will come off, and then we'll tilt it all, and we'll come out the right side right here. I figured this is gonna be a very long video, so I figured I'd time lapse some of this. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take those 7 bolts out in a time lapse. One here, down here, some more down in the back, and then a few on the other side. And then this guy should, and then you'll have to come down here and take out some of the bolts that hold it on to the transmission mounts down here. We'll take those out, and then it'll lean this way towards us, I believe, and then we should be able to take it out. All right, guys, through the time lapse, you saw all the crap I had to take off. Got all the bolts out, got everything separated. Now, the idea is to slide this, actually it says lean this way, it's to separate it from the transmission. Now, this is per the service manual, and then you can get the front prop shaft off. So let's see, I don't even know how light this thing is. So you actually gotta come out, you gotta come way out this way to separate the transmission, because there's a rubber cush drive in there, and you can see we got a big gasket that goes in here, big thick gasket. So let's just go ahead and try to finish peeling that off the best we can. All right, there's that. And it says to lean the transmission this way, lift it out, and set it on the ground. So let me back the camera up here a little bit. I know I did a bunch of probably crazy angles during the time lapse. I was just moving you guys all over the place trying to get better angles. But all right, so it says to slide it out this way easily. All right, there we go. Transmission is out. You don't have to drain the engine oil. I just have to do a service on this thing anyways. Let's take you guys over here to show you what's going on. So transmission came out pretty easy. It's not too heavy, but you can see where that cush drive will set inside of this onto the crank. And then I wonder, I'll have to look that up to see if that's some type of a filter that runs in there or not. If it is, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off and change that. But you could tell somebody's been there before, not factory, because it's kind of beat up. All these bolts are pretty loose. So I'm having a feeling that somebody's been in there before, but we'll clean all that out, and I'll wash the motor off and everything. I'll plug this up since I can roll it around now. And then I'll go ahead and pressure wash the rest of this off by plugging up the exhaust there. So since I can roll this around, I'm gonna clean everything up here. We're gonna end this video here in a moment. There's the transmission on the floor. You guys can see that. Here's to show you the back side of this. Here's that big rubber, what I call a cush drive. And well, it feels like the transmission spins. So we'll see what's going on, because that bad boy spins there. So, but again, we had to take it apart regardless, because this needs to be changed. So the old transmission is going to be split apart. So, I mean, yeah, it's gonna spin like that, but we need to see why the transmission's locked in gear, even when it's in park. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean that up. We'll end the video here, guys. Again, if I don't drop you, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Sub to the channel if you didn't. Thumbs up if you liked the video. If you got any questions, I have the service manual downloaded for this 09. It's the XP550, and there goes that black line. I think that black line is because of it's gotta be because of my LED lights up here or something, I don't know. But I'm too cheap to get another GoPro or a more expensive camera. If you guys need to get a hold of me, you can find me here on YouTube by dropping a comment. Find me on Facebook at Limitless Power Sports Service and Repair. Hit me up at limitlesspowersport78@gmail. About questions about motorcycles, ATVs, or UTVs, I'll help you out the best I can. Remember, sub, thumbs up, you liked the video, thumbs down, you didn't. If you got questions about what I just did, drop a comment, and I'll try to, I mean, that service manual sucked. I mean, honestly, I mean, it told me what stuff was, but it didn't tell me I had to remove the rear plastics. It just talked about removing the rear step and all that. So unless they might have considered that the rear step, honestly. Polaris labels stuff really weird compared to what I'm used to with the Japanese brands. So transmission's out. The good part is if I want, I can go ahead and run the motor, make sure the motor runs. I can service that while I'm waiting on parts for the transmission. But again, end of the video here so I don't ramble on. I'm gonna clean this sucker up. Part 2 will be us breaking down this transmission here so we can see what exactly happened on the inside. I'll catch you guys on my next upload.